Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
And we're back. You're like, what do you mean you're back? I just heard you yesterday and the day before. Well, you did, but I'm going to tell you a super secret. We recorded those before we got on the road to go to Atlanta. Yeah, we did. We had to, because we got back Sunday night. I guess around, what, Jared? 7:30, 8 o'clock. We rolled back into Biloxi Sunday night, something like that.
Yeah.
And so we did that. We rolled back in about 8 o'clock Sunday night, and obviously we did not want to jump into the studio and have to redo it. So we did our due diligence, and we had stuff ready for you for Monday. And then yesterday, or Monday, I'm sorry, on Monday, I was pretty much all covered up with the dealing with the aftermath of what we're going to call that spring storm.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, they didn't put a name on it, but they should have. That storm front that came through. Hardcore. We got more rain. Literally, we got more rain from that at the house than we have from official named tropical storms, and we got more rain from that than we got from Hurricane Gustav. It was ridiculous. So, sometime, today around lunchtime, the carpet treatment disaster specialty guys are going to come over with their special truck with the machines that suck all the water out of your carpet and treat it and all that stuff. So that's fun. But the good news is that I was forced by circumstance to take everything out of that room. And you know what? It's a good thing we're here, Jared. It's a good thing we're here in this building. Because what did the family room at the house, what was it? What did it used to be?
A garage.
No. What did it used to be for us?
I don't know.
Maybe a studio?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Ding!
I forgot. I completely forgot.
You forgot that's where we used to record.
Well, if you guys go back to listen to episode 001, we recorded that in the old family room.
Yes.
Wow.
We actually we blocked off a corner of that family room, and that's where we recorded radio, and that's where the original TV studio was too.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, that would kind of, if we didn't have this building today, we'd be scrambling for some other place. So,
if we didn't have this building, we would have some kind of other building by now.
Yeah, probably that's true. That is true. But anyway, I was able to, in addition to having like couches and chairs and a TV in the family room, we also had shelves and what have you where I'd stored miscellaneous man stuff, gun guy stuff. And the good news is I actually found some stuff that I forgot that I had. All right, admit it. How many of you out there in the firearms owners audience have ever gone into a gun safe of yours or into a storage area or into a storage closet and you found a box and you open it and you're like, crap, I forgot I had that. It wasn't like you thought it was missing. It wasn't like you thought someone took it. You just plumb forgot that you had that. Mm-hmm. Now, if I said to you, hey, do you have an XYZ? You were like, oh, yeah, I got one of those. But, I had a couple of those moments. I had a couple of those moments where I found something like, I totally forgot I had that. So that's a good thing. What's going on over there? Are you setting levels or something?
Yeah, I was just checking to make sure that it was...
Checking levels.
I do that sometimes.
Check. Well, hey, it is... this is Wednesday's show.
We will be talking about something that is a coveted topic today.
Coveted topic.
On the
you
fitness
mean
talk.
On the fitness talk.
Yeah.
Fitness. And people are wondering, they're like, hey, When you went on your road trip, did you take your Oxbox coffee maker? Well, duh, of course we did. And if you followed us on social media, you would know that. And you're like, I don't follow you on social media because I don't like Zuckerberg. He's a douche. And Twitter is run by douches. You're right. Facebook and Twitter are both run by douches or big organizations full of douchebags. But you know what that's not? Gun District. GunDistrict.com is a social media site that is pro-gun, and it's not run by douchebags. And so if you hate Facebook and you hate Twitter and you hate Instagram, okay, we're down with that. But you still want to see pictures and get updates of all the cool stuff that we're doing? Well, there you go. Hey, you're going to have to hit me on this because I'm not a techie guy, but is Gun District, their mobile app, is it up and
I don't know.
Running? Oh, okay.
I have to look.
I haven't looked lately. But
I already have it on my phone, so I can't really I can't tell if it is or not.
Oh, okay. If it's different or?
I'm going to go check the App Store real quick.
Okay, cool. Well, in the meantime, let's go ahead and thank our friends at Crossbreed Holsters, the makers of the Bruce Jenner Commemorative, also known as the Super Tuck Deluxe, and the Freedom Carry, and the Purse Defender, and the Bedside Backup, and the Ram Mount, and belts and hats. Well, they don't make hats. They have logo hats that they have made for them. But I'm wearing one right now, so there. Frog Lube. It's green. It's minty fresh. It works on your guns, knives, and pretty much anything else. It's extreme.
So
on
iPhone, the Gun District app is not there. However, I have a dude named Todd. He contacted us, and he made me aware of something called United Gun Group.
United Gun Group.
Yes, it is like Amazon, eBay, Craigslist, Facebook, all of this stuff put into one app for guns where you can sell your stuff on there. You can create a store if you have products, or you can just create your own account and buy stuff and follow other people on there. So I created an account on there for a student of the gun.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I haven't got to use it a lot yet. So, but their app is on iTunes now.
Aha. Ha 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 ha.
So it's called United Gun Group. If you don't have the Gun District app, then download United Gun Group, and I'm going to give Zach the login and stuff so he can start posting stuff up on there.
Okay. Well, very good.
I think this one's here to stay because it's got so much in one platform.
Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do right now. It is Wednesday, and as it is Wednesday, we're going to do our SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk. And then when we come back, we want to talk to you and kind of give you an after action of our adventure, our trip to the Concealed Carry Expo in Atlanta, Georgia.
We're going to be talking about nutrition on the road today because we just had a road trip and I had time to think about it, and I also had some questions about it. Nutrition on the road. Obviously, it's harder to keep with your diet on the road than it is if you're through your everyday life. But like everyday life, the best course of action for nutrition on the road is having a plan. And sometimes that's hard to do because you don't know the restaurants where you're going or along the route. But there's this cool little thing called Google now, or Duckit, whatever you want to use. I don't know if Duckit will use your location, but
I don't know.
Yeah, there's all these cool apps that tell you Yelp. There you go. Use Yelp.
Yelp.
Yep. That'll tell you what's close, give you reviews even. But the point of today's fitness topic is to tell you that your nutrition on the road is based upon your mindset. If you don't put any effort into thinking about what you're going to eat, if you're just like, oh, well, there's a McDonald's, I'll stop there and get it, then your nutrition is going to reflect the effort that you put into, or the thought that you put into your nutrition. For instance, okay, we were on our, what was it, 65 or 85, I don't know, on the way to Atlanta. I guess that's up from here. But we were going, and there was restaurants all over the place, but we chose Chick-fil-A because there's chicken. I don't know if that's why you stopped there, but
superfood.
Yeah, I got chicken and superfood, and that's better than a McDonald's cheeseburger
and fries.
Yes, it might not be your ideal meal, but it is better than the other.
Yeah, because somebody right now is in the process of typing about how their chicken is whatever. But dude, I mean, unless you're going to graze. Unless you're going to stop and like kill a deer and skin it you're not going to get too much fresh food.
Yeah, you can go anywhere and get healthy food, or maybe not healthy, but
healthier,
better. Yeah, healthier food. If you go to just go by Wendy's, get a grilled chicken sandwich with no bun, get the lettuce, the tomato, all the garden stuff. Eat the chicken and the garden. Don't eat the bun. Don't eat the fries. Get a side salad or a Caesar side salad.
But the fries are good.
Yeah, they are good.
They are good. They're for cheat day.
Yep.
That really is like super, like artisan when you say cheat day.
Yeah.
It's to me when I hear that, I think like the people across the street, whose like muscles are like cannibalizing themselves. It just sounds like I don't know, but. The truth of the matter is, and like Jared said, you don't have to become a monk.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, well, I'm not going to do that because then I'll never be able to eat anything I like again. And what's the point of living? I get that. But you know when you'll really super enjoy those things like fries and ice cream?
After you don't have it for a while.
After you don't have it for a week or two. You know, if you eat it every day, it's like, whatever, it's just there. I'm going to throw in my 2 cents, Jared, and this is something that I learned when I was in the Marine Corps many moons ago. When you're traveling and you say, "Oh, I'm in a vehicle," you know, I'm not running, I'm not hiking, I'm just sitting in a vehicle, I'm traveling in a vehicle, or I'm traveling in an airplane or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, travel affects your body. It just does. You're in a closed compartment for a long period of time where you can't move your muscles. Then you get out and you stretch them, and then you get back in, and so on and so forth. You have different altitudes. You have different climates. And even if you don't have to travel to the desert or the mountains to feel the difference. As a matter of fact, when the interesting thing about living at sea level like we do is when we travel, it doesn't matter where we go. I mean, unless we go to New Orleans or the Florida Panhandle or something, everywhere we travel to is higher elevation. We're going higher up everywhere we go. So that affects your body. Your body notices that. And how do you help your body mitigate the effects of travel? Water, water, water. Drink water. Make yourself drink more water than you normally do. Always have water available to you.
Ice in your drink. Ice in your soda, ice in your tea. It's not water.
I fill my Coke up with ice.
Drink water.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking to out there.
The only thing that ice counts as water in is a glass of water.
If you put ice in your water, then
yes, I will count that as water because it'll eventually melt into water.
Mm-hmm. So,
being healthy is a compilation of very small decisions that all equal up one big decision to be healthy. So take one thing. If you're on a road trip right now, and I know a lot of you are because you're driving a truck, next time you stop for food, one decision, make one change. That's all you need. You don't have to do it all at one time. Make one change to your meal.
There you go.
Don't get fries.
Do something positive. Drink water instead of soda. It's so easy.
That's the easiest thing to change.
Yeah. Stop drinking your calories.
I'll tell you, dude, if you cut your soda and start drinking water right now, within 1 week, you're going to lose 5 pounds.
You're going to notice
I guarantee it.
You'll notice it. Yep. Especially if you're one of these, if you go to let's face it, every restaurant just about, well, if you go to a restaurant where they serve you, where there's a waitress, she's just going to keep filling up your tea glass or your soda glass. And if you go to one of these fast food joints where they have the soda fountain out in the dining room that you refill, you're just going to keep walking over there and refilling that sucker. And there's you're going to drink as many calories as you're eating. And do you need that many calories? Now, sometimes you do. Like if you're exerting yourself physically, like hardcore physically, then you need the calories.
You get those calories from something else, though.
But how hardcore? People are like, I need the calories to survive. I needed to survive the walk from my car into the restaurant and back again.
Yeah, if you're listening to us right now, you don't need soda. So just drink water.
All right. Well, you want to, let's go ahead and remind them what they should be doing, because apparently not everyone is getting it.
Getting what?
Apparently not everybody knows what they're supposed to do. We ran into people who are like, oh, I listened to you on the radio. Do you have a TV show too? Or, I watch you on Facebook. Do you have a radio show too? Yeah.
Well, for those of you that met Alex at the Atlanta Convention Center, at the Georgia International Convention Center, you get to put a face to the voice now.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Well, all right. And Jared, apparently the Torah is way more than the first 5 books of Moses. So get your crap together.
Oh, okay. Well,
our resident Hebrew schooled us in the grad program.
I thought it was the first 5 books. So.
That's what you get for being an infidel like you are. All right. Let's jump right into it. And, well, the reason I mention that is because we ran into people, especially via the Facebook thing. Did you notice that, Jared? We're doing the morning mindsets on Facebook. We're doing the videos, and we ran into people in person in Atlanta, and they're like, oh, I saw you on Facebook. And then we're like, well, do you listen to the show? And they're like, what? You have a radio show too? Yeah. Oh, do you watch the TV show? Oh, yeah. Are you on Roku? I have a Roku player. I actually had somebody tell me that they had a Roku player and that they liked our show because they listened to the radio, but they never watched the TV show. I'm like, dude, or dudette, or whatever. I was like, it's easy. If you have a Roku player, if you have Amazon Fire TV, if you have those, you can watch us for free for nothing, 24/7. You can watch us on demand, like right now, or when you get home from work, or when you get up in the morning. I don't care. Apparently, we're just not doing enough to assume. You're like, wow, if I keep saying this, people are going to get sick of it. Like, we get it, Paul. We get it. We get it. You don't have to keep telling me that you have it. Well, I know you in particular may get it. But brothers and sisters, let me tell you what, it blows my mind that people can say, hey, I know about Student of the Gun, but they don't know about the various parts. They know about the morning mindsets, but they don't know about the radio show. They know about the radio show, but they don't know about the TV or the articles or the books or whatever. I was like, wow, dude, I don't know. I feel like, like I'm blowing my own horn when I say it, but it's got to be said. I mean, we're not doing this stuff for us. Jared doesn't sit in his office for hours and hours assembling video and producing the television show so that we can watch it here at the shop. It's for you. Mm-hmm. It's for all of you guys. That's why we do it. I mean, if it was just us, we'd go to the range and actually shoot once in a while. And that's another thing. We meet people and they're like, man, I wish I had your job. I'm like, well, what job is that? Man, you get to shoot all the time. You get to shoot all these different guns. Not all the time. No, most of the time I'm inside a building doing stuff like this. And when I'm in here, I'm thinking, what should I get from Brownells today? No, thank you to everybody. Everyone who's listening to me and also went to the Concealed Carry Expo and went by the Brownells booth and thanked them. Thank you for doing that. People who went by the Crossbreed Holsters booth. Believe it or not, there were some people who worked for who do work for Crossbreed Holsters that didn't know about the Bruce Jenner commemorative. Remember Carly?
Yeah.
Carly didn't know. She's
She's like, why do these people Why
do these people emailing me and asking for the Bruce Jenner commemorative? I'm like, because of us. And she's like, Duracoat. Hey, Jared, are you getting any pictures yet for our Duracoat? Nope. You guys?
I have to look.
Okay. Remember, we're doing a Duracoat Student of the Gun tat contest. It's super simple. You just order yourself some Duracoat, and then while you're doing that, order the official Student of the Gun tattoo, and then Duracoat something. I don't care what you Duracoat. You can Duracoat your dog, your cat, your front door of your house, a gun, a knife, a sword. I don't care. It's your world. I'm just living in it. Do it. Take a picture of it. Send it to us. And if it's cool, neat, interesting, unique, special, pretty looking, whatever, the one that is the most unique, special looking, grabs our attention, what we're going to do on Memorial Day. Yeah, on Memorial Day, we're going to choose the winner. And the winner, we're going to contact you. Jared will contact you, and you come on the radio, and you can tell us all about your project, how you did it, why you did it, what your inspiration was, what your favorite flavor is. You know, I don't care. So do it. And you can get Duracoat from LauerWeaponry.com or from Brownells.
So I've got there's Walker.mr. So Mr. Walker, he posted a picture of an engraved Leatherman with Student of the Gun on it.
I saw that.
However, that is not a Duracoat project.
But it's still cool.
But it is still pretty cool.
Did you see Leatherman communicated back with him and asked him why he did that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was like it was on Twitter. He tweeted it.
It's on Instagram right now.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm going to do to make my job easier to pick these people, to see all these pictures, is I'm going to institute a hashtag.
Hashtag!
So if you've already posted a picture, go back and hashtag it Student of the Gun Duracoat. Or maybe we should just do Student for Life.
Oh, wow, yeah.
What do you think?
How about just do Student for Life that way?
But there's other people that use that.
Yeah, but it's not like it's going to get lost, is it?
I don't know. Just go back and hashtag it Student for Life.
No.
Next time he comes up with a contest, he'll figure out a hashtag for it.
Oh, do you really have to come up with a hashtag for it?
I mean, unless you want to go through all the social medias.
So there you have it. All right. Well, let me tell you what. As you probably know, we went to the USCCA. I know you don't have to spell it. We're all adults here. But USCCA Concealed Carry Expo, which was held last weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. And this was our first ever USCCA event, our first ever Concealed Carry Expo. And I really wasn't sure what was going to happen, quite frankly. I mean, I didn't think there was going to be like psycho clowns attacking people or anything like that. But you never know when you arrive how it's going to be organized and what have you. It was much smaller than NRA, but it was laid out very well. It was organized very well. The people at the door, the people who let you in, we had called ahead. I emailed ahead and made sure that we had media badges for everybody in the crew. Super friendly, super nice, very accommodating. And what really kind of blew me away, Jared, was the mobile training truck. Were you not kind of surprised by that?
That thing was pretty cool. It'll be at the NRA show too.
Is it going? Did they tell you it would be?
Yes, but it's going to be under somebody else.
A canopy outside or something?
It's getting wrapped with some company's logo. After it leaves there. So
okay.
I don't know who it is.
Well, yeah, Kevin Michalowski, who is the editor of the USCCA Concealed Carry Journal, I think that's what they call it, Concealed USA. Whatever. I've known Kevin for a long time, and when we first got there, what the guy gave us our passes, and he said, "Hey, I'm supposed to tell Kevin when you guys get here." We're like, "Okay, well, we're here," and he said, "Go to the trailer and try out some guns. Go to the live fire and try out some new guns. A lot of the companies have their new guns." And I said, "Well, where do we have to go?" He just go inside. And I said, "Inside the convention center?" He said, "Yeah." I'm like, get the farfignugan right out of here. And so what they had what the heck was it called? Was it called Mobile Training Solutions, or I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Now I'm a jerk, but essentially this is it. And if you go to the USCCA's homepage, or didn't they have a special Facebook thing set up for the expo? I know they did because you posted pictures on it. Essentially what they did, the company did, is they took a semi-tractor trailer, a big box trailer, and they put about $1 million into it, and they created a 3-lane shooting range. It has an HVAC, a ventilation system. It's got the padding. It's got the noise-canceling material. It's got carpet on the floor. It's got target, the electronic target, runners. Brothers and sisters, it was cool, and people were using that. What they did is they set up a system where you could purchase a ticket, and then you could go and you can choose any one of probably 20 to 30 guns that were on display from probably half a dozen manufacturers: Glock, Carr, Springfield. Let me see: Glock, Carr, Springfield, Heiser, Walther. Those are just off the top of my head, and if I forgot somebody, forgive me.
It was called Mobile Tactics.
Mobile Tactics.
Shoot on the move.
Shoot on the move.
I tried to shoot on the move while I was in there, and they wouldn't let me.
They're like, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. But what they allowed people to do was to actually live fire some of the new guns that the companies were promoting. And I thought that was really cool. And they did it inside the building. And you could, if you stood close to the trailer when people were shooting, you could kind of hear the pop, pop, pop inside. But it certainly wasn't distracting at all, was it, Jared? And if you were on the far side of the convention center, you couldn't even tell at all. You had to be pretty close to the trailer to actually hear the shots inside. And when I went in there, I walked in and I thought, because I had borrowed a set of headphones because I didn't walk around with hearing protection on on my belt while I was in the show. And I thought, this is probably going to be kind of loud, because I gave about 50% of my hearing to Uncle Sam when I was in the Marine Corps. And I do have the tinnitus, not really terribly, but I do have some. And when I shoot indoors at an indoor range, I plug and then I muff, because otherwise I still get that feeling. Well, I went in there and I thought, it's probably going to be this is going to bother my ears, even though I have the headphones on. I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised that it didn't. That it absorbed that thing, that box, the way they had it set up, absorbed the noise. Because you guys have all been to, well, I'm assuming most of you have been to indoor ranges. And most indoor ranges are just like cinder block walls, concrete floors, and then, a little bit of baffle in the ceiling, and that's it. And it just hammers you. You sit in there, and it's not so much your gunfire, but the person next to you is just like, pa, 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 pa. It's like somebody smacks you every time they shoot their gun. It wasn't like that at all. And I was really impressed. It was very cool. And I know you're like, well, what did you test, Paul? Well, I'll tell you. I tested the new Heiser 45. It's a compact, concealable. It looks kind of bizarre. It's like if you took an iPhone 6 and then you cut it out and made it into a pistol. But it's semi-automatic. Unlike most of the Heiser pistols are the Derringer style. This is a semi-automatic gun. It's chambered 45 ACP, and they have one in a stainless steel version and one with a titanium frame. The titanium frame is obviously much lighter, but because it is much lighter, you get more felt recoil in your hand than you would normally with a heavier gun. I tested that one. I tested the Walther. Walther had, which one? It's not the CCP. It was like TTQ or something. Their competition model, one of their competition models. Walther was there, and they had a whole bunch of stuff. Man, Walther is going nuts. If you haven't paid attention to Walther lately, check those guys out. I did the G-Lock, the Glock 19 with the RMR sight on it, and also the 380, the Carr 380, PT 380, right, Jared? Mm-hmm. The PT 380. Now the PT 380 is like their other original 380, only it has a longer frame, so it holds a longer. It holds 7 rounds, I think, instead of 5 or 6. just a little bit more to hold on to. Now, I don't know how well that one would fit in a pocket. I know I've carried the P380, the car P380 in a pocket holster in one of the Tough Products pocket roos, and it carries very, very well. I've had people tell me that they carry them in ankle holsters and so forth. So check that out. Check those out. And while we were there, on day one, I got to meet Sheriff David Clark from Milwaukee County. And you guys know him. If you're pro-gun people, you know who David Clark is because he's been on Fox News about 100 times. He is the go-to, here lately, the go-to pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment, pro-liberty sheriff. He's one of many. And he is a tall sumbitch. Is he not, Jared?
Yes, he is tall.
There's a picture of me standing next to him, and he makes me look short. And I'm 6'1".
You suppose he's the only pro-gun, pro-liberty Democrat?
Yeah. I was looking at that, and I'm sure he has to have that D behind his name in order to get elected up there in Milwaukee. But yeah, he's a Democrat, but he's pro-liberty, pro-gun, and he's like 6'4". Plus, he was wearing his big
saw the
hat.
Pictures, I'm sure
he was wearing his hat. Well, not everybody saw the pictures.
Well, they're on Facebook. So
yeah,
go to the Facebook page and you can see a picture of Dad and him, and yeah, he's about 3 inches taller than Dad, probably.
Yeah, and he thanked me for my service. I think Kevin introduced me. Did Kevin say I was a Marine?
I don't know.
It must have, because it came up, and I don't think I said it. And he's like, "Thank you for your service." And I'm like, "Yeah, thank you for your service," because quite frankly, I was a cop for 17 years, and I wouldn't go back to being a cop now for anything. I did that, got the T-shirt, and moved on, and now I'm doing other things with my life. But the fact that I met him, and the fact that he is a pro-gun sheriff. We've talked about this previously on the show, but I think it's a good time to talk about it again. If you're listening to me in the United States of America, this has a lot to do with you. If you're just kind of tuning in overseas, not so much. The farther away from the county you get, the greater the chance of you experiencing tyranny. When someone lives near you, when an elected official, when a government official, when the chief law enforcement officer lives in and amongst the community, they're more likely to be sympathetic to the needs of the community. They are more likely to pay attention to the wants and desires of the voters. But the farther away from the county level you get, the greater the chance for bureaucratic overreach. And quite frankly, to just view the people of the state, of the county, of the cities as peasants, as tax slaves, as us versus them. The farther away from the county you get, the more you get the us versus them mentality. We saw a lot of the us versus them mentality. We saw it up in Oregon just recently. We saw it before that. We saw it at Waco. We saw it at Ruby Ridge. We've seen it in the United States of America several times. We are part of the ruling class, and you peasants need to just shut up and do what you're told. I've been rewatching the TV show Turn. And if you don't know what that is, it's a Netflix show. I don't know if it was a Netflix original, but it's a show that's on Netflix, and essentially it is about the American Revolution and a city that focuses on a village that is in occupied, British-controlled or loyalist territory in New York on Long Island. And the people who live in the city are loyalists, but not all of them are loyalists. Some of them support the patriot cause, but there is a British garrison that oversees them. And the whole premise behind the entire show is that one of the guys who lives in the city, in the town, becomes a spy for Washington in the revolution. And that's interesting to me, the whole storyline. A lot of the characters are fictional, but then it's like most shows where they throw in real-life characters and they blend them in. Like, obviously, Washington is there. They talk about Benedict Arnold. Robert Rogers of Rogers Rangers is in it. John Andre, who you guys know was hung as a spy. He was captured and hung as a spy for the British. They're all in it, and then they mix together all these characters that are fictional. And you say, well, I don't care about any of that, Paul. How does this blend in with meeting Sheriff Clark and the sheriff? Well, I'm going to tell you. In 1775 and 76 and 77 and so forth, in the 1770s, 1760s, the people who lived in the United States of America, and they weren't the United States in the colonies, the United Colonies or whatever, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, whatever, they did not consider themselves to be Americans. They considered themselves to be British citizens, to be citizens of Great Britain. Even though they didn't live in the United Kingdom, they didn't live, obviously, overseas. They lived in the colonies. But the colonies were administered by and they were owned by Great Britain. And the people believed in their hearts that they were sovereign British citizens and that they should have all the rights and privileges that a person who lived in London did, or Hempstead or Hampshire or whatever, Staffordshire, that they believed that there was no difference. The problem was that the king and parliament did not view it that way. The king and parliament were treating the people of the United States, of the United Colonies, not as if they were fellow British citizens, but they were, but they weren't. Like, for instance, when they came up with the Intolerable Acts and the Tax Act and the Tea Act and all these, they're like, you miserable, ungrateful peasants. When you miserable, ungrateful peasants misbehave, we're going to throw you on a ship and we're going to float you over to London and we're going to try you there. We're going to take royal governors, and we're not the people who live amongst you, not your neighbors, and the people from your community. We're going to send people from Great Britain on ships to the colonies, and we're going to set them up as the royal governors. We're going to put them in charge of you. Then we're going to take red-coated soldiers, which, back then, and nobody ever thinks about this, but you didn't have street cops. You didn't have deputy sheriffs and so forth. The army was the police force. They really weren't interchangeable. The Army was in charge of law enforcement or enforcing the policies. I guess back then, we talked about policy enforcement officers here last week, Jared. I guess the Redcoats were Royal Policy Enforcement Officers. They were tax enforcement officers.
Did you see the Dodge Challenger commercial?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you should watch it.
Is it about redcoats and?
Yeah.
Oh. And you're
something
saying
like that, yeah.
The men in red coats, whether they were officers or soldiers, the royal governors who were put in positions of authority to oversee the colonies, they were British citizens. The people who lived in the colonies were British citizens. It wasn't like a foreign country was invading. It wasn't like Japan invaded Hawaii. It wasn't like Spain invaded Virginia. The American Revolution was quite legitimately the first Civil War, because the people were fighting against each other. They all spoke the same language. The combatants at Yorktown and Germantown and Princeton and Trenton, you name it, they all spoke the same language because they all came from the same background. And what you need to ask yourself is, How do you get fellow citizens, people who are related by nationality, to take up arms against their neighbors, against their relatives, against that? And that is exactly what you had in 1775, 76, and so on. You had loyalist militias who attacked and killed patriot militias. You had patriot militias who fought against loyalists and troops. You had British troops. Now, I know that that Great Britain hired Hessian mercenaries to come to the United States and to kill Americans, to kill British citizens who'd stepped out of bounds. I got that. I understand that. But folks, the reason that we had that situation, the reason that it occurred, and this is what Washington and Franklin, what they understood was this: the farther away from the county you allow your rulers to sit, the greater the chance of tyranny. The greater the chance that the people who sit in the capitals will view the people hundreds, thousands of miles away. They will view them as a peasantry. That's exactly what we have going on in the United States of America today. People sit up in D.C., look out at the country, and view everyone who isn't in New York or D.C. as a peasant class. And they send their minions with guns out from D.C., from Northern Virginia. They send them out into the countryside to make the peasants behave. And there's one man or woman, but it should be a man. If it's a woman, it's wrong. Don't write me letters. I'm correct about this. There's one man in your county who should be the go-to guy to protect you from this overreach, from the us versus them, from the king reaching out into the counties to smack the peasants. And that's your sheriff. You need to support your sheriff. You need to hold them accountable. You need to make absolutely sure that the sheriff of your county supports the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state in which you reside, because every state you live in has a Constitution. If your sheriff does not support the Constitution, if he does not support liberty, if he does not support individual liberty over the collective, broom them, get them out, because they will turn on you. And if you have one that does, if you have a sheriff that supports the people as opposed to the ruling class in D.C., you need to have that guy's back. You need to support them. You need to let them know. All right, kids, we're going to be back tomorrow with even more fun and frivolity. It's going to be Thursday, which means we're going to have our Crossbreed Holster Student of the Gun homeroom. There you go. And we're going to talk a little bit more about laws, and can laws make us safer? If we only had enough new laws, could we all be more safe? I don't know. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Until then, remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life.